Hello YouTube, this is Dr. Ronald W. Satz, founder and chair of the International Society of Unified Science and president of Transpower Corporation, a commercial and custom software manufacturing and certified systems engineering company. I work as a theoretical physicist and as a systems and mechanical engineer. I also work as a theoretical economist and operations researcher. Today I'm continuing my demonstration of each program unit, one per week, of Transpower Corporation's very first commercial software package, Optimal Manager. 47 program units to optimize your business. This is the sign on screen, as you can see. I'm going to press enter. We're currently in Module 1, Optimal Product Investment, so I'll hit I. I've already covered the first 4 program units in screencasts in previous weeks. So now we'll look at program unit I5, which is profit and cost comparisons. Often in business, you have to compare the profit and cost of 2 different products. How much you want to put into each, or how many you want to make. So let's hit 5, and let's read the program unit description. This program unit performs profit and cost comparisons of 2 project alternatives for either deterministic or probabilistic cases. The fixed cost, unit cost, and unit revenue are input for each alternative. The break-even volume for switching from one alternative to the other is computed, whether for the profit comparison or the cost comparison. For the case of probability comparisons, the mean and standard deviation of fixed cost, unit cost, and unit revenue of each alternative are input. The mean profit and the standard deviation for the 2 alternatives are output as a function of volume. So now I'm going to hit C to continue. By the way, for many, many years, this software package cost a total of $495 to our customers. But because of the recent recession and depression, we've reduced the price all the way down to $95. But that does not include the printed manual. If you still want the printed manual, that's another $95. But you really don't need it, as long as you you just read the description, see if that's appropriate, and then if it's not, you just exit out, like hit X here, and go to try another program unit. But this is what we want to look at today, so I'm going to hit C to continue. And now you see we have 4 choices. 1 is deterministic profit comparison, 2 is deterministic cost comparison, 3 is probabilistic profit comparison, and 4 is probabilistic cost comparison. So I'm going to hit 1 first. And to save time, I'm going to input from a disk file. So I'll choose 1. And you can see that I first ran this in 1982. So yeah, this program is like 38 years old. It still runs perfectly. The user interface is still very, very easy to use, extremely easy to use. I'm running this under Windows 64-bit. You can run this under Windows 32-bit, any version, Windows 64-bit, any version, with DOSBox as the emulator. Or you could get another DOS emulator under Windows if you like. DOSBox is free, by the way. So anyway, so here we have custom radios. We want to look at 2 alternatives. And you can see the low volume, the high volume, and the increment. And we have 2 alternatives here. So we have unit revenue, unit cost, and fixed cost. You can see that the fixed cost is higher for alternative 2, but the unit cost is lower. So I'm going to hit A to accept, and then C to compute. No need. Of course, you'd put in your own data. I'm just running a sample here. So C to compute, and then look at the screen length. And so here we go. So we have the 2 alternatives. The unit cost is different. The unit revenue is the same, but the fixed cost is different. And now you can look at the alternative 1 profit versus alternative 2 profit. And you can see here that at volume of 60, that's where the break-even point is for the two. And in fact, that's what the program tells you. Break-even volume between these two terms is 60. All right, so that was the first one. So now let's exit to the module menu, and then we'll come back in. So I again, we'll go 5 again. We'll skip the program unit description, so I'll hit no. Now we'll hit 2, deterministic cost comparison. And again, we'll look at sample data file 3. Incidentally, just like in all the other program units I've shown before, when you go through, you can see at the bottom of the screen, it tells you exactly what the field is. So, and in this case, there's no problem with mining screen, any screen issues here. So just read the bottom of the screen. It tells you exactly what the field really means. So now we'll hit accept. Well, just before we go, just take a note that alternative 2, the fixed cost is higher, and so is the unit cost. Well, the fixed cost of alternative 1 is higher, but the unit cost is lower. So now we'll compute. Of course, you could save your data or go back to screen 1 if you want to make a change. Screen only, screen length. So now you see the table, alternative 1 cost, alternative 2 cost. So the break-even volume between these two alternatives is 2, actually. I'm going to print it, and you can, of course, print the results again. So let's look at this. Let's look at 2. And yep, $40,000, $40,000, yeah. So at volume of 2. Otherwise, the cost is lower for alternate 1 if you have higher volume. Okay, so now we'll exit out. We'll come back in again. Unit 5. Skip the description, we already read it. We'll go 3, which is the probabilistic profit comparison. Sample data, let's look at 5. And again, you could hit E to edit and just go through the fields here. Oh, look at that. I ran this in 1984, so I must have updated this. This custom radio is just, let's see. So the mean value of unit revenue for alternate 1, standard deviation, and then the mean value of unit revenue for alternate 2 and standard deviation. So just read the bottom of the screen if you don't understand what the field is. Accept. And we'll go compute only, screen only, screen length. So here's the input. Looks nice. And now we have alternate 1 profit, alternate 2 profit. So it looks like it's interesting. So above 60, alternate 2 profit is higher. And standard deviation is actually a little bit lower. Very interesting. E to exit, and let's do the last one. So 4, probabilistic cost comparison. I got another sample file here. This time it's sample file 7. And here we have the mean value of alternate 1, standard deviation of alternate 1, and mean value of alternate 2, and standard deviation of alternate 2. That's the unit cost and the fixed cost. This is for insurance. A to accept. C, compute. Screen only. Screen length. You can see the input here. Mean unit cost, standard deviation, mean fixed cost. So here the unit cost is lower, but the fixed cost is higher for alternate 1. but the standard deviation is higher. So this is kind of interesting. And then you see the output volume 1, alternate 1, cost standard deviation, alternate 2, cost standard deviation versus volume. And you can then judge for yourself what you should do. So very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, that's it. That wraps it up for today. This is the Optimal Manager software package. It's still a fantastic set of program units for your business. I still think there's nothing like it on the market. The price is extremely attractive. We now just send you a Dropbox download link, so you basically get the product almost immediately. And you don't really need the manual, but we still have printed manuals available if you want. So all right, well, that does it for today, and thanks for your attention.